everyone. In the spirit of keeping up with this video, I promised everyone that the next segment would be how I made it through and kept pushing with trying to match in a residency despite the many rejections that I encountered. So this will just be a quick run through, hopefully, of just my experiences. So just to keep it real with you, anyone who knows me will tell you that I've always had a positive spirit. You'll always find me smiling. There's not much that, people physically see that gets me down. So when I didn't match, I was very public about it. I posted about it, I believe, on my blog or Instagram, just for transparency. And it was good to have that outpouring of support from people, but it was still a dark moment. And I remember, my school had a match day celebration party where everyone would, reveal where they matched and hold up little signs. And of course, me being one of those people who didn't match, I debated going to the party. But at the end of the day, I was happy for my classmates matching, despite, the sadness that I felt inside. So I still went to support, and it was a good time. But it was still a reminder that while everyone's celebrating and they get to go off and start careers that they wanted, that I wasn't where I needed to be. But nevertheless, that first time not matching, I was just happy to have a job. Like I said, my number one thing was graduating medical school and having a job and making money. So that was where my happiness stemmed from when I signed my traditional rotating internship contract. And then when I was an intern and I was applying and I had to face that rejection again, that second time was a blow, but I was lucky enough to have people who cared. But one of the things I talked about that was really helpful and important to me was when I was in Philly, my mentor, who I talk about all the time, Dr. Velma Scantleberry, she actually drove up from Delaware when I didn't match and had dinner with me. And it was interesting because she was first Black female transplant surgeon in the United States, but she also didn't match when she first applied. And that was something I didn't know. Like I said, people don't talk about it. So, she's just like, it's going to be okay. It happens. But it was nice to have that reassurance from someone who had actually went through it and then went on to do great things. And then other times, I think I just started to stay quiet about it and keep it to myself. People see me as like extroverted and out there, but I consider myself introverted into myself. So, it's hard to go through those, but I also know that, as a friend told me, my failure is not for me. It's to share for other people, to help them get through it, to know that they aren't alone. So I always kept that in me. And then I'm also big on my faith. So I always knew it was going to happen. It was like, one way or another, I'm going to be a surgeon, whether I end up making my own practice and just doing straight surgery, because with my license, it says licensed practice surgery. I was going to do it, but I wanted to do it the right way. So I prayed about it all the time. I stayed consistent. Just because I got a rejection, that didn't mean it was the end of the world. It felt like it was the end of the world, but I just had to keep pushing. And I think a lot of it stems from when I was a pre-med, and it took me 5 years to get into medical school, and I had to face constant rejection then. I think I'm just used to that, and I know that it will eventually happen. It's that persistence, and people start to notice that after a while when you stay consistent. So that's something that I made sure to keep doing. But really, I can't really say what kept me going. It was just that thought that I knew I wasn't where I was meant to be. Even when I was working urgent care and I was making money, had my own schedule, it was a good life, but it was just, I knew that wasn't where I was supposed to be. I had to keep pushing. There was something more for me. And I refused to be that girl who people said, had so much potential and then never just went for it. Like, that's just not in my spirit. So it's hard, and I don't have the best advice for those of you who might be unmatched and don't know where to go and are starting to lose that faith, because it's something within that just tells you have to keep going for it, and that's not something that can be instilled. But for me, my faith, praying, like having faith that God will always make a way, that what's for me is for me, that was one of the major factors that helped me, continue to apply despite rejection after rejection. And I don't mean just rejections from the matches. I mean, I was applying and getting rejected daily. So it's just blow after blow, and it takes a lot out of someone. So that's why I have this blog. I write on my personal blog. I'm always open with my story because I know how hard it is, and I know it can be a deep, dark, lonely place. But I want people to know that, you know, it's not the end of the world. So that is just a pretty short story on how I managed to continue to push through, and it all worked out because I eventually matched plastic surgery, and I'm very happy with where I'm at right now. I would have never dreamed I would be here out of all the places and happy in residency. So, you know, it just goes to show that everything works out eventually. And if you only take one thing out this video, the main theme should be delay does not equal denial. You might have some bumps in the road. The timeline that you thought was going to happen might not happen, but it does not mean that your dreams cannot come true. And I think that phrase is one of the biggest phrases that kept me going. Delay does not equal denial. So keep pushing, keep fighting. What's meant to be for you will be. But if there's anything else you guys want to see, let me know. But yeah, put some topics below that you guys want me to talk about. I'm happy to share with you my experiences and just my overall journey, or even answer questions or give advice to help whether you're a pre-med or medical student or even a current resident to make it through. So thank you for watching. If you like what you see and you want to see more, please hit that subscribe button and give this video a like. Right, thanks for watching.